right, Odessa, Florida. The houses are bigger, the lots are wider, and the prices have always been higher. The market just did something really, really weird in 2026. So I'm Anio. This is Jimmy B with LPT. And in April of 2026, the numbers in Odessa are honestly some of the most interesting we've seen in all of Tampa Bay. Median sale price is down over 10% year over year, but sellers are actually asking more than ever. And the list to sales price ratio, it's going to shock you. So if you've been thinking about buying in the Odessa, or you're sitting in that Steinbrenner home zone, wondering if now's the time to sell, buckle up. This one's juicy.
All right, so now we're gonna get into the fun stuff, which is the numbers. So we're gonna start with a fun stat, but it's not so fun here in Odessa, and that is how many home sales there were. So last year in April, there was 42. This year in April, drum roll, 43. Woo! So we call that a flat market. Like it hasn't changed at all.
Same old, same
So what it really means is that volume is steady, buyers are buying, but they're buying smarter and they're well more advised. So if you are a buyer, just know that you're not alone in the market, but there is less competition in I keep fucking up. All right, so now we're going to talk about a fun stat, which is home sales. So last year, there was 43 home sales. Shit, I fucked that up again. I'm so sorry, babe.
fine.
I'm normally so good at this. Okay. All right. So now,
Sorry. I just kicked something. I didn't know what the heck it was.
blooper reel.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So now we're going to get right into the numbers, and we're going to start with maybe a fun stat, maybe not a fun stat for here in Odessa. So last year, there was 42 home sales.
Okay, that's good.
Drum roll. This year there was, take a guess.
I know the answer.
This is true. 43. So guys, that really means that the market is flat in that area of Odessa. So volume is steady, buyers are buying, but they're buying smarter and they're actually paying less. If you're a buyer, you're not alone in the market, but you do have less competition than those cheaper tiers because the median sale price here, which Anio is going to go over, is a little bit higher. If you're a seller, you need to really commit to selling or don't list your home at all. Half commits, or what Jimmy B likes to call half-ass commits, really get punished here. So it's steady volume, falling prices, and that equals textbook overvalued market finding its real number. COVID inflated the prices. We're starting to see them come back to reality.
So, in lines with that, let's actually talk about what that sales price looks like. So, last April in 2025, the price was $767,000. This April, and this is where we said it's this big shock, $685,000.
Wow.
Yeah, right? That's a huge, huge thing. So, just to give you an idea, when you have this much of a price difference off the median in a luxury market, that's not small, and we call that a correction. So, if you're buying and previously you're priced out, you need to look again because the luxury market right now is fixing itself. And then if you're a seller, you need to make sure that you're pricing to today's reality. The prices of 2022 are completely over, or you're going to be end up hosting open houses for like a whole nother year waiting for your house to finally sell.
Wow. That is a
Huge.
crazy number.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and all these numbers line up. So now we're going to talk about how many new listings there were. So last year in April, there was 91 new listings that hit the market. This year in April, there was 107, which is an 18% increase year over year. So more inventory, a little bit slower sales does equal a little bit more leverage for buyers, which is why you're seeing that median sale price drop and get more back to reality. So if you're a buyer, you can take your time here. The inventory isn't limited. Look at a couple more. The right one is definitely going to be out there for you. If you're a seller, you really need to hire the right agents, hint, hint, because you need premier marketing and you need to make sure that your property is market ready the first time it hits all the websites, the MLS, and everything like that, because our first showing is
online.
Is always online. So we have growing supply, flat sales. The math is behind the price drops. Buyers, this is your window of opportunity if you're looking for a nicer property.
Yep. So now let's take a look at the timing. So if you're a buyer, does that mean you have like 6 months to be kind of playing with the market and everything? Not necessarily. Right now, the average days on market for April is about 50. Last year was at 76. So even though we're seeing the price correction, we're seeing, the amount of listings coming to the market and everything, you still have to pay attention because people, and there are buyers out there that exist that are looking for that right house at the right price. And the fact that our numbers are going down with the amount of time on the market means homes that do sell are moving. But overall, you have to make sure you are looking at the pricing. As a buyer, you have time and you have leverage, but you just want to make sure that you are playing your cards right on that. Now, if you're a seller, you need to make sure that you're planning appropriately for like your move, if it's for a job or something like that. You need to account for that extra timeline. So plan on at least 2 to 3 months minimum to start your strategic adjustments before doing any major panic cuts.
Okay. And now we're going to talk about, as Annie likes to call it, a not so fun stat, but an interesting one. And that's how many listings actually didn't sell or expired listings. So last year in April, there was only 3, which is not bad. But that increased this April to 8. So that is actually a 167% increase year over year. So that's 3 times as many failed listings as a year ago. Sellers are getting it wrong with their pricing. So, as a buyer, expired listings equal motivated sellers. Ask us how to approach them so that you can get a great deal. Sellers, weekly performance reviews, or you will really become one of those 8. You really need a real strategy here to make sure that your house sells in the average days on market. So the most underreported trend in Tampa Bay luxury, sellers are getting it wrong. We need to start pricing these properties correctly.
Absolutely. Now, talking about our list to sales ratio, because I said this was going to be a big number at my intro, is that right now the average home in Odessa is listed at $815,000, but the sale price, which I just went over, is at $685,000. So that's a huge disconnect. Why is that? Just give you an idea. Buyers are negotiating, and sellers are listing where they wish the market was, not necessarily where it is. The other caveat you have to know and pay attention to is that with these pricing differences, the 815 versus the 685, really need to make sure like what kind of features, what kind of benefits, like do we have a whole bunch of new homes that are coming to the market that have major improvements or major updates and upgrades that just weren't available on the homes that were previously selling. So if you're a buyer, you need to negotiate hard. You have that flexibility. And if you're a seller, you need to make sure that you're priced at a list price that will make sure that you get your deal done and that you're not over listing it and then you end up never getting to the closing table.
So overall, bottom line, it's a buyer's window in a long-term seller's market. Prices have corrected, the supply is up, and patient buyers are waiting and negotiating real money off the list price. Sellers, you can still win big in Odessa, but the rules have changed, and the agent that you pick matters more than if you have granite in your kitchen and bathrooms. If you want an honest conversation about what you really need to do to get your home sold, call Jimmy B and Annie O, the realtors you need to know.
See ya.